there, viewers, and welcome back to the Self-Made All Channel. 2015 Chevrolet. Of course, it's the Colorado. It's got that in it. And ABS, red brake light, and track lights on. The guy took it to his shop they normally goes to, and they said their tool is not sensitive enough to do this. So they suggested that he comes here because our tool is sensitive, apparently. So let's grab our sensitive tool. I already did. I plugged it up. We got the key cut on. We got the battery maintainer on it. It's over here doing a scan. Let's see what we find. I thought we had it going over here. Oh, she's a quickie. I see 13 codes it says. That's probably going to be a problem. The EBCM is lighting up gray, so that's what that tells us. She's not communicating. Report. Maybe that's why they need a sensitive tool. Lost comm with brake module, 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 lost comm with HVAC module, lost comm with brake module. Everybody's not happy because they can't talk to the brake module. Well, that should be pretty cut and dry. Well, that should be pretty standard operation here. Powers, grounds, and ability to communicate, or power and ground, whatever it has there. So I'm going to print this out to diagrams, page 1 and page 2 of the ABS diagrams. We'll go get those. We'll find out where the power and ground are, and serial data wake up, whatever we need there, and go from there. Could be a bad module, could be a broken wire, could be a blown fuse, could be a bad ground, you never know. We are armed with our roadmap to success, or at least to the answer to this problem. Can't see a lot of it. We'll get our glasses on. We got a battery positive, we have a ground, another battery positive, so it looks like a couple powers and a ground, some serial data lines. Let's go into there and do some simple checks on it. I think that's about it. Battery positive voltage. Out at all times. Interesting. I thought there would be a key power, but give you guys a little look at that. No idea if that focuses or not. Alright, so that's what that looks like. So it should be pretty straightforward. Let's just go right to the source and go from there. Not too bad, not too bad. Pretty easy to get at. It's always a plus, and it's not even busted yet. I'm going to start by simply unplugging it. The key is in the cut on position currently. See if you can't get this little guy unplugged. Usually when we get stuff, the connector is already jammed full of dielectric grease. This certainly is always busted off. Let's get another light so we don't have super poor photography. And then instead of looking up a pin chart, I'm just going to pop the back off this connector, which is easy enough to do by cutting the zip tie. Or reinstall a new zip tie. It's the little anti-strain zip tie. Okay, there's that. That's cut off. Let me do what I promised you. Some dirt out of it. We're going to pop that little back cover off, and everybody's going to be happy. Well, that's not real convenient to get to. That's why I talk like this. I use my little squeaky voice. Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's so good. Oh man, just had this weird feeling that somebody's behind me. But it's not. Nobody's behind me. Okay, so that little cover comes off. Easy peasy. Alright, now we can see our wire cutters. We've got our glasses on. And now we'll hold this up to the light. So we have battery positive, full-time power 60 amp. Battery positive, full-time power 30 amp. Red and yellow, red and gray. They're side by side, red with yellow, red with gray. And then it appears we have a ground on pin 13, which is black. Serial data COM enable, which is white and blue. Classic General Motors move right there. We'll need a voltmeter for that one. And then we have serial data in and out on a LAN and GM high-speed LAN. Oh wow, there's a couple data networks going into this thing. Interesting. Well, let's start with powers and grounds. Let's find the black one. It's probably a heavy one. Yeah, I was gonna say, because if it's supporting a 60 amp circuit. So 2 powers, 1 ground. 5 amp test light, 4 amp test light. Power. Power. Oh, really? No power. Power. No power. That one, red with yellow. Red with yellow. Make sure it's the only red with yellow here. There's some yellows with red. That's a yellow with red. Let me make sure my eyes aren't deceiving me, because they have been deceitful in the past. Red with yellow. Nope, the other ones are yellow with red. Wow, we're missing power. Let's do proof of concept. By that, we'll plug it back up. We're gonna get a jumper wire. Let's jumper it and just see if we can talk to it with a scan tool. Do not do this at home. How come? Well, it's technically a fused circuit still, because we're going to be jumping it from a 30 or the 60 amp fused circuit. But if this circuit is shorted, well, we'll know because we'll see the sparks fly. I'm just very gingerly back probing it. Jumper wire, no fuse, raw dog in this thing. Okay, I didn't see any spark. Ooh, little tiny spark, little baby sparker, do. Baby spark, that's all I saw. And I don't smell smoke, so let's try to talk to the EBCM now. Oh, hey, what's up, EBCM? You're talking to us now? Oh, hello. Okay. Let's unhook that before things explode. So what do we know, folks? Oh, we know the dinger's going off on the inside. It's saying, wait a minute, something ain't right. Wow, you would think it would just quit dinging here. Thank you. We know that we don't need this cover off anymore, and we know that we have, I'll let you guys go ahead and say it. What do we have here, folks? No, you can't really say a broken wire. No, you can't just say a blown fuse. What's the technical term we have here? We have a lack of power due to an open circuit. We have an open circuit. Yes, that could be a fuse. You are correct in saying that, or it could be a broken wire. So all of those answers are correct, but we need to go find out the cause. Okay, that's clicked back in. Does that latch come back down when I start pushing on it? Oh, it does. Look at that. Well, we did that whole thing. Let's get them a zip tie on there because, well, you guys know. Nobody likes points deductions, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. So put that back in there from factory style. They didn't quite have it cut flush, so I'm just going to do it at a little bit of an angle. There, now that keep that thing razor sharp. And now we should be back to where we started. Let's see, let's do a fault scan. And we are back to a no-com situation. But we've learned something. We know very quickly that this circuit is open. ABS valve fuse, 30 amp, red with yellow. We have a connector X106, so that's good. That's a plus. Let's go up to the fuse box. Do not power wash this thing. Oh, okay, these bad boys back on, and let's see, it was ABS valve. Those are relays, those are fuses. Let me find this little guy. I know she was a 30 amper. We'd probably be better served to just look for the 30 amp because there's probably only a couple of them. Yeah, there's only a couple. We got one here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here. But other than that, that's it. ABS valve 30 amp. Right there it says F22. F22. Where is the F22? It's probably one of those big honkies there. Let's see. F22, right there. Are you blown, F22? Does not appear to be. Oh, it said, I didn't even notice these boxes were numbered. 22, it says right next to it. Wow, you learn something new every day. I've been working on Chevrolets for the past 20 some years. I just learned a thing. Never know what you're gonna learn. Stick that to the side. I was going to pull the fuse out to pull that off, but that pulled off first. The scrappy part about JK's fuses is your inability to test them, but you can only do it with visual inspection, which is silly. Good, 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 still good. Okay, everything's good on F22. Unless, let's not get tricked here, okay? Unless somebody cut the pin off in the fuse box, and they didn't. But always check on that. You want to trick your friends and send them on the largest goose chase and sit back and laugh and laugh. Just pull out a fuse and cut the one leg off it. And then you just snap your lid back on. There's that. Okay. Well, that's good. Let's find out where this other connection is. There's that, showed that connector, because at this point, here's what we know. Should we talk about it? Put that back on. Let's grab our old school laptop here. Got it right here. Here's our old school laptop. Keep your glasses on. Get a pointing apparatus. We know this fuse is good. We know it runs a red with yellow wire. We know down here, red with yellow wire, X-nay on the ombre. I don't know what that means, but it means we have no power. But we have power here, no power there. So we have an open circuit still from here to here. We have a connector X106. Let's find out where that lives and see if we have power X106. Hopefully it's not just a connector on the bottom of the fuse box, what I suspect it is. But that would be my next best step. The most logical thing to do. Before that, though, the most logical thing to do is to give it the old look with the peepers. That harness goes down along the frame. If I remember correctly, it comes up here to this big old connection right here. There is a big connector right here, giant connector, with this harness that comes up from the bottom. And then the wires come out of it and kind of head back that direction. So very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, we know what we're dealing with. Let's try to figure out how we're going to split this system in half. Probably should do a little visual inspection underneath it as well. You know what? There is a zip tie down here. Well, there's a couple zip ties. There's a few zip ties that somebody has tied the harness back. Let me get a mirror. The steering shaft runs right down there. I'd move the camera and show you. All right, let me show you. Gosh. So this harness that has the aluminum tape on it, enhance. Whoa, enhance. This harness right here, it's hard to. Well, let me get an apparatus to point with. Otherwise, we're just not saying things. Let's get a long screwdriver. This is a good pointy tool. Got the Harbor Freight creaky stool. Let's deal with it. This harness right here that I'm pointing to, it goes down, but I see a zip tie right here. Like if I was a judge at the car show, that's 5 points off automatic. I don't care who you are. That's not OEM. Okay? But I also see way down yonder, down in this Chattahoochee zone down here, there is also a zip tie. Also massive points deduction right there. So, but what I want to know is, where was that harness prior? Could that have rubbed? Because that comes up to this big connector here. Okay, let me get my pointing device again. This connector right here, which I assume is our X106. I'm guessing, just because it goes to the harness, it runs to the back. So, did somebody move that? Let me just look it over with a mirror, I guess is what I'm getting at. Get your words out, fella. I just don't want to put a lot of effort into something if it's something easy. If it's something easy. Make sure see if there's any fresh tape. Tape can cover a multitude of sin in the automotive world here. I'm just trying to make sure everything looks factory fresh, even though it doesn't. Some people don't care about the car show, other people do. You guys know how we roll. I don't want to go on a goose chase, but there is something about this that is not sitting well with me. I'm gonna say it looks like regular tape on top of Tessa tape, which doesn't seem factory to me, and I see like a bulge in it. I don't really want to go on a while. I'm gonna open this up just a little bit. I just want to have a look, because it looks like there's a zip tie that's under the tape, which doesn't really seem factory. I just want to make sure something just doesn't seem right here. All I ended up finding down there was a goose. It was a wild goose chase. Now I want to see about getting this connector undone. So what concerned me is down there where all the junctions came together is a bunch of wadded up wires, which you usually don't see in a factory harness. So that's usually if somebody's had it open and has taped it. This gives me pause to think that somebody might have been in here. Come on. There, okay. Maybe I was jumping the gun on that a little bit. I cut the key off because I don't know what all this feeds. It'd be nice if we could just see the back side of this one as well, just like we did down below. I'm assuming this is that connector in the diagram. This guy sure is making a lot of assumptions when he could just go look. Yet here we are. Here we are. It pretty much has to be it, right? Again, we have to cut the anti-straining zip tie down here. That's a much smaller variety than the previous one that we cut. Okay, here we go. Let's pull this out of here. Let's look to see if we have our wire cutter here. Down there on the bottom we do, old son. So let's plug it back up. Okay, this is going to tell us if we have power to here at least. There's our red with gray, red with yellow right side by side. Move this stuff, we'll cut the key back on. Alright, the key is cut on. We got us our safety third high amperage jump wire with no fuse. We have a test light that functions. And we're gonna back probe into this connector to see if we have what power, at least to here. This is the one we know we have power on right here. That's red with gray. This is red with yellow. Oh, okay, we have power there with red to yellow. So that tells us that our leak, our loss in the system is beyond this connector. Now let's grab a scan tool. Let's just make sure for poop and laughter, because we've been wiggling around. Well, here, we'll just do a fault scan again. Okay, she's still not talking, so that's good. It tells us we have not inadvertently fixed it, which is always a problem. Crap, I don't think there's any more connectors between point A and point B. Man, I thought for sure I had the smoking gun right here, where this was all taped up. There's another spot down lower with tinfoil tape on it that has me super concerned, but I can't tell if it's factory or not. It's bizarre to me that there's a zip tie underneath the tape, which tells me it's probably not factory, but, well, I'm gonna get this put back together here. Ideally, we would check for power coming out the other side of it, but it doesn't look like it's been touched. The side that we tested, oh, as a matter of fact, let's see, the side that we tested, oh, okay, is from the fuse box. Okay, so the side we tested is from the fuse box. This half of the connector is going downtown. It's going downtown, but never mind. As much as it pains me to do this, visual inspection does not reveal anything other than that suspect spot up in the fender liner with the aluminum tape on it. The only thing I see that's kind of sus. So this harness runs over here, and then right about here it breaks up and around to the ABS module. I just want to see, get this around, just kind of look to see if there's any green crust coming out of it. From what I could see, like this side I could open up, I didn't see anything there. Obviously lots of dirt and crap. Well, let's do this. I hate poking. I saw this video on the Insta the other day. Popped off the Insta. I was on there trolling around, seeing who they've been talking with, who they've been dealing with, what's going on there. And this, of course, it always pops up suggested feed, suggested stuff based on whatever your previous conversation was you were having. Next thing you know, I mean, you guys know how the phone systems work. You say one thing, next thing you know, your ads are all whatever you were just talking about. But it's what we signed up for when we bought them cell phones and clicked I agree to the end user agreement. So nothing new there, but what I was gonna say was there's some lady Snap-on dealer, and assume trying to sell some Snap-on tools. Big old boobies, you know, the whole story. Looked like she had more plastic than this Chevrolet. But she was claiming, it's a big claim to fame, that you can use the Snap-on thermal imager to find a broken wire. I'm like, oh my gosh, could you imagine? Just, I don't know, ladies, I can't see anything. But the fact of the matter is, you shouldn't be out there spitting facts when you have zero idea what you're talking about. You can use a thermal imager all day. You will never find an open circuit with it, trust me. Short circuit, well, no, because you're probably gonna blow the fuse. High resistance in a circuit, yeah, you could probably find it with a thermal imager if there's enough current flow. But to be on the line saying like, use this Snap-on thermal imager, blah, 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 big distractions, two big distractions. Look at these things. Buy this from me. I could be wrong. Maybe she's a sweet lady, but they looked awful fake to me. So let's click this on the T-case. That'll provide us with a good ground. We're gonna assume it works. Here's our wire, red with yellow. Then the big fatty harness. We gotta have it right where we gotta have it out here where we can fix it. Because we're gonna poke a hole in it. Very gingerly slice this tape right there, just so we can get to our wire. Pull it both ways just in case it's broke right nearby, because you never know. I'm gonna poke a teeny tiny hole. That teeny tiny hole will turn into a big green monster if you're not careful. I'll be a son of a hoo-ha. I did not expect to see that, but that's good because where I suspected it was broken. Let's just make sure. See if we got no communication still. Okay, no communication still. We're still doing good. That means it's broke between here and here. This is all fast. This is all car show ready down here. And typically, if it's in this loom, I don't know if you guys have seen how big mine is, but I've got a big one. Big old nose, and I can usually spot this green corrosion a mile away. I'm really disappointed in myself at this point. You're really letting me down here, Eric. Where does that harness? Okay, it splits out of the wire right there. Not seeing weird stuff happening, man. We have to leave that open because that needs to be fixed. What the world? Really disappointed in myself here. We're going to cut through the Tessa tape. We're just going to find another point of entry. If you're doing this, always do it in a manner in which it can be repaired easily. Don't get the most obscure part of the harness to open up. And do a nice job. Do it like you're doing it for your mother. Unless you don't like her, then do it like you're doing it for somebody you like. Love my scalpel. Not gonna lie. We might have plugged this all up and a little too soon. I see that other folks have asked down there. You can look down in the comments. There's the guy just typed it. You want to know why we don't use a Fox and Hound type tool or the short circuit finder, open circuit finder from Power Probe, the ETC 2000 or whatever it's called. I have it. I've got probably 5 or 6 different brands of open circuit tracers, and I've never found them very valuable in the automotive world. Personally, I just never have had very good luck with them. And honestly, this is probably the longest I've ever struggled to find a broken wire. Usually it comes pretty quick. Not trying to toot horns here or anything, but generally speaking, we can find them pretty quickly. Red with yellow. Right out here in the open. You do the hokey pokey. No light. So it's broke between here and there. Son of a hoo-ha. That sucker is broke somewheres in this last couple feet of wire in a perfectly, what seems to be intact wiring harness. Dude, you gotta be able to see the green here, man. You're losing it, fella, you're losing it. You guys are gonna lose faith in me. You can always see the green, man. Where's that green stuff at? Okay, that's interesting. This tape here seems to not be factory. Is this not factory tape? Has somebody gone through and taped up this harness? Have I been deceived yet again? Worst part is, this is a waiter. Waiter's gonna wait, you know what I mean? Waiter's gonna wait. I'm just wondering. It seems like I might have found another spot that's a little bit sus, but usually if somebody's up in here, they rarely put any of this stuff back. That's why I would be surprised if I'm right, which I doubt I am, because usually hack shops they just don't put stuff back, you know. I mean, you guys have seen it 1,000 times on our channel. When stuff gets touched, it just gets tossed, you know, gets put back wherever it was. Okay, so that still looks pretty factory there. This here, let me trim off that chunk of Tessa tape, because we're gonna come back, we're gonna have to fix this, we're gonna have to, you know, seal up our hole, which is not a big deal. A couple ways to handle that. We'll redo our Tessa tape. That there looks a-okay. Goes up there and splits. Well, I gotta tell you, man, if it's gonna be broke anywhere, it's gonna be out there where that loom is more open and it's more susceptible. Where it can more than likely get some stones inside there and abrade through there. This is how you abrade a wire. You know what would really chap my hiney is if there was more than one red with yellow wire in the harness. So we just tested the wrong one. Did you guys just see me break that on YouTube? I hope not. Because I gotta pretend I didn't see it, so should you. Open her up there around this area. Feels kind of fatty. Feels like a fatty right in there. Maybe that's our spot. Come here, little fatty. Quit pissing around, there it go. We're done pissing around, fella. Show me the money. Come on. Where's our wire at, by the way? Where are you hiding at, bro? Dude, I'm not seeing any. If this is right on top of the frame, that's gonna piss me off, because that is not very good spot to be. It's not a good spot to be. If you're gonna break in a good spot. Make it easy on us. We're trying to do a video. Try pulling my wire. Oh, got it. Oh, damn it. We missed the money shot. It was right where we originally started. At least we didn't poke down here, but we did poke right here, which is gonna give us an opportunity. This thing's broke smack dab in the middle of this taped up factory harness. Never been touched. Let me get you over here. You missed the money shot. The whole thing's gone to pot. Whole world's going to pot. That's what Willie Nelson sings about. Love me some Willie. Nelson, Willie Nelson, not that Willie. Whole world's going to pot. Where you at, old son? There she is. We gotta get the other half of this thing. Let's see. There it is, oh boys. Gosh. Let's see if we see anything else in here. Yeah. Don't see anything, just General Motors doing what General Motors does. So there's our broken wire. Huzzah. We never touched it there. We have one wire to fix there. This section I'm just gonna cut out because we're gonna have to fix it anyways. And then we have the one wire up there that we need to fix. So we're letting this little guy cool down. So we're using crimp and seal connectors. Ivan at Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostic, they're his favorite style connector. Man, he just won't ever stop talking about them. Loves these things. I'm kidding, he hates these things for the same reason I do. If used improperly, we have to be very clear about that. If used improperly, they don't work. So by that I mean if you poke a hole in it and then you try to heat shrink it and then you just have a giant hole in it, obviously the corrosion and crap's gonna get into it. But these ones crimp nice, they seal nice, and then we don't have to worry about it. But used improperly, these things are junk. Fixing the wire in the harness is easy, but you gotta put her back to stock. So we're gonna put her back to stock. Got the stock wrap. Got the Christmas tree zip ties. Get that jammed in there. So you get the zip ties with a little Christmas tree on the end of them. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, that could either be Santa Claus or the Jolly Green Giant. I don't know why the Jolly Green Giant went ho ho ho. But he did. Ho ho ho, Green Giant. Who remembers those commercials? I do. Ah, you ding dong. Ooh, come on, man. You zipped it too tight, and you're not even in the right ballpark here. There we go. That's how it's supposed to be done. That's how that one's supposed to be done. Okay, so that's all done. I put this back together. Factory tested tape too. There's gonna be no points lost here, folks. Retaped it up top. Of course, zip ties back where it belongs. Obviously fix the wire there. Don't be a dip sugar and just tape back up if you poke a wire. Just fix the wire, you know, okay? We've got that OEM styling. Let's see, we never touched anything under here, right? No, we didn't. We have to fix the one wire up there and move on with our life. That's out of the way. I'll leave the camera nice and dark so you can't see if I did a good job, but trust me, I did a good job down there. We never poked a wire there either, which is nice. That's just where I opened up the tape where it looks suspect, but clearly somebody has been down there doing something. This connector's back, the lid's on. Oops, that didn't work out like I planned. That did not work out. Freaking junk ass Chevys. Attention, battery saver active. Why would the battery saver be active? I got a maintainer on it. Let me figure out how to get past that menu. Shut her down. Cut the key back on, maybe. Okay. Make sure we got no abs light on. Huzzah! It's all good. We did it. Me and you. Out of tape, out of that tape, out of this tape. Ran out of tape and everything except test tape. It's all the 88 I got left. I gotta do an emergency order. We got all green lights, boys. I sure would like to know someday how many broken wires I fixed in my lifetime. It seems like we do maybe 3-ish a week on average. You know, a lot of diagnostics around here result in broken wires and corrosion. And it's kind of funny because I'll talk to like Keith Perkins there, L1 Auto Diagnostics, on the YouTube. Check him out. Good friends with him. I'll speak with him and they don't do near as many broken wires or corrosion as we do, but that's the difference between New York and Oklahoma. But he's also working on cars that are 25 years old with no rust. We have them that are 10 years old that are, well, just about done. This one must not be from around here because this is not nearly as rusty as I would expect for a 2015. So at least it didn't start out its life in New York. But that's where it's going to end its life. So that's that. Follow your process, folks. You know, the better thing to have done, I guess, looking back, if you're always going to, you know, critique yourself. What could I have done different? What did I do wrong? What can I do to correct it to make it better the next time? Ask yourself about that in every aspect of your life, and the world will be a better place. But we don't, because we're human and we have a sinful nature, and that's just the way we're made. But if we did, and I did ask myself that, and I look back, I would say, what would I do? I would check the fuse first. Okay, that's about the only thing I would have done different. I take that back. I just lied to you. So I would have checked the fuse. Fuse is good. I would have gone to the ABS module, said, hey, we have no power. Where can I split the system? At that point, I would have checked it at that big connector instead of opening up that little Y connection that I saw what I thought was the smoking gun in. But then after I checked the connector and seen I had power there, I probably would have cut it open at that spot that looked suspect, if I'm being perfectly honest. So I would have done everything I did just in a little bit of a different order, would have taken the same amount of time. As I mentioned in the video, I've used a host of those wire tracing tools, and I've had very limited and very poor success using them in an automotive application. There's few instances where you can use them. You know, it has to be a single branched wire, a single branch circuit, like what we were just working on would have been a good example to use it on. However, I can typically find it way faster than what I did. You know, I've got some time into this one. We've got maybe 2 hours on this car start to finish. You know, looking up, see where the connectors are, getting the diagram, you know, getting the car, you know, up in the air, you know, the whole deal, you know, start to finish. But usually you can track them down pretty quick because typically you can see the green dust coming out of the harness, or what we find more often than not, you just look to see where the last guy was. Who touched it last? There's your problem. You know, they poked the wire, they did something. That's what we find more often than not. I'd like to say it's a 50-50 split, but it's more like a 30-70. 30% being non-touched, 70% being touched heavily. Tell us where the bad man touched you, little car. It's usually what I ask them, but all I can ask you is to go in that comment section and tell me what you see in your part of the world. Broken wires, corroded connectors, bad grounds, what is it? And bad grounds don't count unless you prove it. Just because you cleaned it doesn't mean it was bad. And Insty, Facebook, both good things, not really horrible things. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.